All right, let's talk about a skill that honestly can change just about everything. How you persuade people, how you connect with them, even how you lead. We're diving into the art of adapting your message. And once you get this, well, it's a total game changer.
So let me ask you something. Imagine you're selling a car. Would you really use the exact same pitch for a nervous first-time buyer as you would for a professional mechanic who probably knows more than you do? No way, right? Of course not. But think about it. How often do we do exactly that in our day-to-day lives? And that right there brings us to this big idea, the one-size-fits-none problem. It's this trap that, let's be real, we all fall into. We get stuck in our one way of talking, our one style, and we use it for every single person in every single situation.
I mean, just look at the difference here. You've got the first-time customer who knows absolutely nothing. You got to start from scratch, build that trust, explain everything. Then you have the experienced buyer. They've done the research, they've got their own opinions. Giving them the beginner's pitch isn't just a waste of time, it's kind of disrespectful.
So, okay, if that rigid, one-size-fits-all approach is doomed to fail, what's the answer? Well, the solution is learning the art of adaptation. This is truly the skill that separates the good communicators from the ones who are just unforgettable.
So what even is adaptation when we get right down to it? It's really just the skill of consciously tweaking your message. You know, the words you use, the stories you tell, your energy, so that it actually connects with the person or the people you're talking to.
And let's be super clear about this. This is not about being fake. It's not about changing who you are or what you believe in. It's actually about empathy. It's about changing how you say something so that your message can actually land, so it can be truly heard.
Okay, so this all sounds great, but how do we actually, do it? Well, let's get practical. Let's open up the toolkit and look at 3 powerful tools you can literally start using right now.
All right, inside our toolkit, we've got 3 essentials. We're going to talk about language, tone, and a deep appreciation for diversity. So let's dive into each one. First up, we've got language. This is the most obvious one, right? It's all about the actual words you choose to use. It's your #1 way to adapt for clarity and, of course, for impact.
Think about a sommelier, a wine expert for a second. If they're talking to another expert, they can get technical. They'll talk about tannins and terroir. But if they say that to a regular diner, their eyes are just going to glaze over. So they adapt. They say, hey, this one's really smooth and it's fantastic with steak. See? Same wine, completely different language.
Tool number 2 is tone. Now, this goes way beyond just the words. This is like the emotional music playing behind what you say. It's the warmth, the formality, the energy you're bringing into the room.
You know this intuitively. In a formal presentation, your tone is structured, professional. But could you imagine using that same tone to catch up with a friend over coffee? You'd sound like a robot. With a friend, you adapt. You bring warmth, maybe a little humor, because you're trying to build a genuine connection.
And that brings us to our 3rd tool, diversity. This one is probably the trickiest, the most nuanced, but you could argue it's also the most important. It's all about recognizing that no 2 people are going to hear your message in the exact same way.
See, your message never just lands in an empty room. It's always filtered through the listener's own unique life, their culture, their age, their personal experiences, and what might be super persuasive to one person could be completely unconvincing or heck, even offensive to someone else.
So, navigating all this complexity. It's not about memorizing some script. Not at all. It's about getting better at the human stuff, right? It's about really observing the people you're with, using empathy to try and see the world from their point of view, and then having the flexibility to change your approach in the moment.
And this is where it gets really serious. The big danger, as one source put it so perfectly, is assuming that one size fits all. When we do that, we're not just being ineffective. We're actually damaging our own credibility and totally failing to connect.
So let's pull all these threads together. What's the big takeaway here? Why should you even care about mastering adaptation? What does it actually do for you? First, let's bust a myth. Adaptation is not about being a chameleon or being fake. It is the exact opposite. It's a profound act of respect. It's about caring enough about your message and the person you're talking to meet them where they are. And when you start doing this, the results happen fast. Your ideas actually land, which makes you way more persuasive. You stop talking past people, which makes you so much more effective. But maybe most importantly, you build that deep credibility and trust that is the bedrock of any real communication. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. In your very next conversation, your next email, your next meeting, just pause and ask yourself, who am I really talking to? And how can I shift my language, my tone, just a little bit to really connect? Who will you adapt for next?